Okay, so today, this morning, we have a very big man in the studio, and we'll be having an interesting conversation. So our guest is His Excellency Ambassador Bishop Dr. Samuel Ben Owusu, who is the United Nations Eminent Peace Ambassador to Ghana and the Country Director of International Association of World Peace Advocates. And he's also the General Overseer and founder of the Porterville Church International. He's also an author and has about 17 Christian books. Wow, that's a huge one. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, Nanaya.
It's good to have you in the studio.
Good to have you too.
That's
Thank
a
you.
very big man.
Oh.
Yeah, but then I want us to talk a bit about you being an author.
Right.
Your bio says a lot about you. You do so many things.
Right.
At what point did you see the need for you to combine the ministry and also be an author? Because it's a whole two big things at the same time. So how do you go about it, and what was a defining moment for you to do, and then how do you go about it?
Okay, I think I wrote my first book in the year 2004.
Okay.
That was my first book that I wrote. I wrote it when I was sleeping in a very junk area. I used to live at Sodom and Gomorrah as a hawker. So, you know, during those times, I was listening to the Word of God, and I think some of the wisdom, some of the knowledge I discovered from other leaders that have made it in life and ministry and things like that, I put them into pieces like my message I will be preaching. And before I realized, I saw that message changing my life.
Okay.
You know, so my life was totally transformed through those messages I wrote down.
Yeah.
And then I discovered, no, I think I'm going to put this into book.
Yeah.
So I think my first book was a book titled Too Much to Be Poor.
Wow. Too much to be poor. Interesting.
Right. I discovered that if I have knowledge, if I have wisdom, if I have the grace of God, if I have the people around me, these are the point of the topic, the topics of the book. If I have good people around me, if I have knowledge, skills, and things, then there's no way I can be poor.
Yeah.
So someone who was living in Sodom and Gomorrah, in Fadama and things like that, and I discovered this, and I think the book changed my life first.
Okay.
So that was where I discovered that no, I have to write more books. So almost every year I produce a book, and in the next 2 weeks to come, I will be launching my 2 books. That,
wow.
Wow. And this year I will launch another one in November. So it's going to be about 4 books I will launch this year.
But from what you have just said, your experience led you to write the books. What are other source of motivation? Is it maybe an inspiration from a friend, or your experience, people's experience, then you also use that as an inspiration to write, or every time it has to do with you?
Most of them has to do with me.
Okay.
But I think right now I'm shifting into leadership. I'm shifting into what people need to know that they have not known, that is limiting them, especially in the area of my ministry as a prophet.
Yeah.
You know, I realized that there were not many books in the prophetic.
Yeah.
You know, so now I think my assignment of writing books is on that area.
Okay.
Where I'm writing more. My new book that I'm about to launch is The Art of the Prophetic Ministry.
The art of the prophetic
art.
ministry.
You know, there are 2 ways of the prophetic, the act and the art. Many of us are seeing the art, which the performance.
Yeah.
But we don't know what goes into the prophetic ministry. Some of us, when we started way back 1999, 2000, there were not materials, there were not books.
Yeah.
And sorry to say, a lot of prophets don't write, you know, about the ministry of the prophet. So I found it that, no, this is an area I need to go into. If I've been teaching prophet for the past 20 years, I think that it's good for me to also bring out some of the things I've discovered.
Yeah.
So not only by my experience, but also the desire to help and reposition leadership is also a point for me. And also looking at the youth, you know, some people that are coming up, the young people that are coming up right now, and what they need to know, because the future is unknown.
True.
To the young people, but to the old, we have a bit of it.
Yeah.
And I think we should be able, or it's a platform for us when you grow to be able to help those who are coming with knowledge of some of the things that they will be surprised at. because there are so many misinformations out there when you are growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I know that maybe, I don't know about you, but maybe some of us when we're growing up, you'll be asked, what will you do when you grow? And then you tell
the anticipation was high.
Was so high. Yeah, and then you grow and then you realize that no, that's not how it is.
It's a scam. Adulthood is a scam. That's what we say today on social media.
Right.
The Gen Zs and the millennials.
Right.
We say that adulthood is a scam.
It's a scam, eh?
Because Charlie, the fairy tales that we used to see back then, we're expecting that in our time, that is going to be the same.
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah.
But oh my.
Yeah, things are changing.
Yeah.
Things are changing. But values are the same. And systems are the same. Even though we are living right now, we are even entering into the AI kind of nature and a culture of AI where intelligence will be doing things for you.
Yeah.
But there are certain values of life is the same.
It's the same. Okay.
That one, intelligence cannot change it.
We can't do it, no matter
That's
what. The intelligence
so we need to be able to write. So all those things inspires me to write.
Okay, that's a very nice one. So we will talk about you being the UN Eminent Peace Ambassador. What are some of the duties that you are required to do? What consists the main purpose of being in that position?
Thank you. It's a very huge platform where you are representing the UN on peace matters and also sustainability of the UN, the UN SDG goals. Yeah. You become the center where the United Nations, apart from the government, they also liaise with you to hear what is going on the ground and to know the effect and the development of those things, the United Nations agenda, and then the vision of the United Nations on the ground of your country. And that is a very huge thing because you are to gather information around the country, you are to speak, you are to advocate, you are to promote, you are to manage, you are to suggest ideas, suggest advise government, advise institutions on certain things, and also bring global understanding into what is happening here in our local country and things like that. So it's not easy, and also representing the Global Peace Index. I don't know if you have heard about it. There's a Global Peace Index that every year they release the Global Peace Index, which shows the country that is the most peaceful, and then things like that. Yeah. I also represent the Global Peace Index. So I write, I advise,
You report on it.
I report certain things, and things like that. And also to advise government and also to advise certain organizations, security intelligence, and also what they need to know, what they need to do. And maybe they are doing something and it's going to bring this at the end of the matter. Sometimes statements of politicians and the actions and certain things, because of power and authority, we tend to forget about human values and human development and things like that. So my work,
it's a lot. Your assignments is a lot.
It's a lot.
And you have to do with that, then you do with the ministry, then you do with the school also. Wow. That's interesting. So recently you were part of the West African mission of the National Association of World Peace Conference. Tell us about the conference.
Okay, thank you. I attended the United Nations Conference on Water Sustainability in the United Nations as a representative from Ghana and also representing the African mission. And it was 50 years old conference, because the last time they did the water conference was 50 years ago. And now the world has come to the understanding that no, we need to really come into a place where we need to develop and have a very consensus knowledge and wisdom and developmental plan towards water. And I think it's one of the most essential commodities of life. Apart from electricity and things like that, and even electricity and all the other things that we have their source from water. Life, actually 70% of life depends on water. And yet, we are not seeing so much of developmental policies and certain kind of systems that we are putting together to sustain our water in the next 100 years to come. So I think we learn a lot, and we discovered a lot of things that, especially in Africa, we wait for the problem to happen before we start thinking. And I think that it's a big issue that we have in Africa, and we need to be able to come into the knowledge where we can really think about 100 years to come, 200 years to come. Imagine we wake up one day and for 10 years it doesn't rain in Ghana. and there's no water, and all the water bodies are gone. How do we survive? How do we, provide water to the children that are coming? Because if actually the rivers are dead, the sea is gone, and then rain is not flowing to our country, how do we get water? Other countries are developing, alternative water development, to the extent that other countries are turning vapor into water. They are turning
vapor into
water. They are
wow.
turning vapor into water. Other countries are planting seed of water. There's a technology of seed right now, water seed, that they can plant in the skies. And then when the time comes that it will ripe, and then they will harvest the water. So they can. So there are some countries that they can decide that, okay, we planted the water in this area, let it rain there, and it will rain there.
Okay.
God has given humanity the power to be like him, the power to be his image, and the power to be like him. So God expects us to develop. God expects us to improve in whatever he has given to us. Every nature is not supposed to stay there forever.
Exactly.
Every natural thing need to be advanced, need to grow, need to, improve. And I think that Ghana need to take advantage of this kind of knowledge and wisdoms that are being given. We are here, look at Galamsey.
Yes, I was even coming to say that with a country that we have a major problem, major concern when it comes to illegal mining, that's Galamsey. How do we solve the situation of good water sustainability? How do we manage it? Because you are saying that in the next 10 years, let's say there's no rain. Our water bodies are drained up. Everything is gone. How do we sustain it? What is the solution? What is the way forward?
We need to have a water bank. We need to create a water bank where we can save water. I don't know how many of them we have in Ghana, but I think we have a little bit of it. But I think we need to do so much to the extent that if there is no water for the next 10 years, we have a reservoir, we have a water reservoir, we have a bank, as much as it can serve us for 5 years or 10 years. Okay. I discovered that on Kwame Nkrumah's time, he created artificial lagoons.
Okay.
We can create artificial lagoons, we can create artificial rivers. All these things are things that we need to come into that knowledge. We can create a whole lagoon in almost every region in this country, to the extent that when there's no water, we'll be able to, have water. And we can also, manage the water we have. The management of water is a big issue in this country. The waste that we have. In other nations of the world, the toilet water, the bath water doesn't go. It comes back to us.
They
recycle the water. So the same water can be managed for 10 years without even looking for another form of water again. But here we are, the water just passes and go. In America, in Asia, in many countries of the world right now, you bath, the water is not spoiled. The water will go through process. The same water will come back to you. You may drink it, you may bath with it.
You may cook with it.
That's it. So we need to come to all those knowledge, because it's very essential to our health. It's very essential to our education. It's very essential to our mental health.
Our living.
Our living life. Our construction is on water. We need water for construction. Our electricity need water. Our children, our women, everything, hospitals, everything need water. Yet, I don't think that we are so serious.
But Bishop, when you return from the conference with the knowledge that you've acquired, how have you shared it? What have you put in place to make sure that the stakeholders, the governments, people who need to hear this message have duly heard it? All right.
Thank you for the opportunity you have given to me here on Metro TV. I think it's one of the platforms to also share with the authorities what I have received during the 3 days conference. The whole world, almost about thousands of people attended the conference. And I think that we are also putting a very strong plan together to have meetings with the stakeholders, also to meet with them. I think I met some of the people also from water companies in the conference from Ghana here. So we are putting, a team
resources together
so that we'll be able to have conference.
Okay.
We want to also have a water conference in Ghana where we'll talk about water.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw a program that was organized by the land ministry, land conference.
Yeah.
I think we need to also have water conference.
Yeah.
You know, so where we'll bring all the stakeholders, we'll bring all the people that are involved in this to come together for us to think 100 years to come. Let's think for our children.
Yeah.
If God, you know, had a thought for us that, oh, some people will be living in Ghana. Let me put all these water bodies for them.
Yeah.
So that when they are living there, they will have enough water from the ground, from the skies, from the rivers, from the whatever.
Yeah.
What are we also doing
to make sure that we are ready
for that, for the next generation that are about to come?
True.
Because,
whatever you guys put together, I hope you succeed. But then let's move from that and let's talk about you being a bishop and the school and its impact. Tell us a bit about it.
Thank you. By the grace of God, I've been a presiding bishop, a bishop of the church, and also the Bible school, the Covenant Christian Leadership College, which was established in 2003. So that's 20 years now. We are celebrating 20 years of our ministry that I've been training and imparting a lot of prophet. When I came into the ministry, I realized that I was a prophet of God, but there were not books, like I said. There were not teachers. There were not Bible schools. There were not training opportunities for prophets. So you are called by God as a prophet. The only training center you go is Atria Mountain. You go to Atria Mountain, you come, and then you start, you know, in quote and unquote, you know, you start maybe you come and mess up and things like that, you know. And so I realized that no, I think that I need to study. So I had the opportunity to go to Nigeria to be taught by the late Archbishop Benson Idahosa. So from there, the Lord spoke to me that no, I need to convert what I have received from the man, what I've known from that man, to also to my nation. That's what brought that idea of training prophet. And by the grace of God, over 12 to 15,000 pastors have passed through our school. Every month we are doing graduation.
That's huge.
Very, very huge.
Congratulations.
Yes. So by the grace of God, that transformed a lot of prophets' life, because we don't just talk about spiritual things. We talk about development. We talk about integrity. We talk about systems, platforms. We talk about operations, management. You understand? That is able to help you to be outstanding prophet and to also give to your nation and your people what God have for them. You know, and things like that. Because we think that prophets are just speaking, you know, anyhow.
The word of God, anyhow. But they need to go to the school.
You need to go through process. You need to go through understanding of deep things to be able to know how to reposition yourself even after the manifestation and the prophetic. There are 3 dimensions here: the gift, the operations, and the manifestation. Many people are only talking about the manifestation. They don't talk about the operations and the gift. You know, so the gift of the prophet is not enough. You also need to understand the operational gift, the operational understanding, what goes on behind. Like we are here right now, there are cameras all over. You know, there are. It's only your studio. I don't see people standing on your camera. You are more than American.
We have robotic cameras.
Robotic cameras. And I'm not. I said, who are those people who are taking the cameras for?
They are there.
Yeah, but there are human beings behind
who are communicating.
Communicating. Even you sitting here, somebody is speaking to you that I'm not aware, and things like that. So I think the prophetic is deeper. It's deeper because
than what is on the surface.
Than what the people know, what the world know. Prophetic is so deep. Somebody is submitting his life, family, children in your hands. Okay? So their social life is in your life, is in your hands as a prophet. Their spiritual life is in your hands as a prophet. Their family life is in your hands as a prophet. Their future, how they will become, what God has said about them. You need to help them to get there. So you don't just prophesy. You teach also. You develop also.
You teach also.
And develop the people. So every, you know, for instance, if you're a Christian and you go to a church, so many things about your life is controlled by the church.
I mean, Bishop, we wish our time would have extended for you to talk about it. A lot of things I know you would wish to talk about. But then you mentioned your book. You're releasing your book this year.
Yes.
Do you have a duration, the specific date,
yes.
month? When is it coming out?
22nd.
Okay.
22nd of April.
22nd
yes,
of
just
April.
about 2 weeks to come. 22nd of April, we'll be launching the 2 books, The Art of the Prophetic Ministry, and also The Power of Impartation. We'll be launching the book. I think it's very historic because Ghana here, that's about almost 200-page book that I've written concerning the deeper aspect of the prophetic. And I've never seen a copy of it, even on Google. Yes, so I think that if you are watching, you can.
We will all anticipate and we'll be hoping for that. Thank you very much. Today we've been talking to His Excellency Ambassador Bishop Dr. Samuel Ben Owusu, who is the United Nations Eminent Peace Ambassador. And the conversation has been very, very interesting. But then we have limited time. Maybe some other time we'll have him in the studio to talk about broader aspects of the pastoral side of everything.